Hello, I am that dude with the beard with another commentary, and today's going to be on Calamitus Deus, as he likes to call himself. I prefer to call him Calamitus Deus, because that's pretty much what he is. Why do I say that? Because he told a mother she was a bad parent for apparently saying the word ass in front of her child, despite the fact that Calamitus Deus, I hate saying that, more or less became a bit of a pry and more or less also made a very big scene in a village inn when he didn't get his pie. Yeah, that happened at one point. And he also deleted the video because apparently people hated him for it. But his most recent video once again shows how much of an asshole he is. What's it called? Some veterans aren't worth a crap. So, let's get down to business, guys.
Hello, Commentaries Deus here. Now, earlier today, I was out shopping with my grandmother. In fact, we just got back. And we were in line to pay for our stuff, and this other man just cuts right in front of us.
Kinda have to stop you here, Calamitus, for one reason. Your pauses, they're very annoying. It's never a good thing to constantly pause mid-sentence in order to get your point across. If you had made this video later, you could have had more coherent thoughts. But no, you did it as soon as you got home. Things like this should never be made. It shows that you're very angry and you're already very bent out of shape about it. This presents a very bad image of yourself, especially when you're trying to prove to other people that what happened to you is a bad thing. Just saying there, buddy.
And he then proceeds to blame us for messing around instead of being in line properly. And thing is, we were.
I need no proof. I am Calamitus. All I need is to say that it's true.
Then he starts talking with this other guy who's collecting his stuff that he already paid for and is about to go out. And apparently one's a veteran, the other guy's father is a veteran. I didn't follow the conversation. But
Calamitus, the master of eavesdropping.
I pointed out, as politely as I could, that cutting in front of an old woman, such as my grandmother, is extremely discourteous regardless of the circumstances. And all this dude has to say to me is, have a good day. And I'm like, fine. Obviously, big giant asshole. I don't care if he's a veteran or not. Somebody as discourteous as that.
I call bullshit. I've seen your other videos. You have a huge ego problem. You consider yourself to be holier than thou and act as if you're some sort of godlike figure. We're also on the subject of godlike. I can't wait till the future of this video to show how much of a dick you are. Also, I'm going to bring this up. I find it hilarious how a man who is saying that my grandmother, you shouldn't do that, people, that's my grandmother, when in reality, in another video, you almost condemned an entire thing of Village Inn because you didn't get your precious pie.
And I know this was a small thing, but it was against my grandmother, and I never forgive any cross against my grandmother. Discourteous person representing the military. You really want that? Really? I wouldn't think so. Makes your entire military look like douchebags.
That's a very dick move on your part, simply by saying that one man will represent an entire branch of the military. I find that very inappropriate, considering the fact that our military fights for our freedom, especially those who fought in past events like the Civil War, World War I, World War II, the Vietnam War, the Gulf War. All these wars were a big deal, and some of these guys that have survived have lived through such horrors as watching their best friends die, have watched other people suffer at the hands of other highly trained military forces. But to you, the biggest and most assholish thing he could have done was cut in front of you.
So there's that. He goes, and I'm just like, fine, go. And the other guy tells me, shame on you, and I'm like, what, for defending my grandmother's honor against a guy who was clearly too discourteous to notice he was cutting in front of an old woman? We're just lucky that we're just lucky he didn't have a cart full of groceries.
I understand she's your caregiver, but here's the thing. A person, if it affects them personally, will most likely speak up against it. You were not affected. Well, you were affected, as we can clearly see, but your grandmother seems to be the main reason why you're talking about this. My point is that if it was really that hurtful to her, she would have said something. But from what I can tell, she didn't. You are overblowing this, much like you do with the word of ass in front of a child, and as much as how you didn't get your pie at Village Inn. Grrr!
What I do now? He probably would have been hospitalized shortly afterward.
I'm sorry, but fuck you. You don't deserve to have that place in line now.
Now, if it were just me alone, I wouldn't have said a word. I wouldn't have cared. But, my grandmother...
That is fucking bullshit!
...on the planet I would give up my soul for. Nobody crosses her. Nobody.
Especially you line cutters, you!
So, yeah. I'm not gonna do anything illegal, but still.
I'm sorry, but from what I've seen, I wouldn't be surprised if you actually did do something illegal. Judging from what I've seen, you really, and I mean really, have a problem with people crossing you. And I do mean that. Not just the slide cutting, not just the pie, not just the bad mother, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading cards, Tester 3, video games, all these things that really shouldn't be taken seriously, and you take them as life and death situations. That's not a good thing, dude.
So, yeah, I know tomorrow's Memorial Day and everything, but unfortunately, not all veterans are worthy of respect. My own great-grandfather...
I'm not dissing your grandfather. I find it very admirable that he fought in World War II and got a medal from Russia. I find that very awesome. The problem here is, you didn't know the other guy. How do you know he didn't get a Medal of Honor for something? Or maybe he got the Purple Heart. We don't know. My point is, you just can't compare someone that you know and has done a great thing to someone who hasn't been, well, formally introduced to you. More or less, it kind of makes you look like an asshole.
Yeah. Not the brightest idea.
I hope you're all happy, because I actually cut out 30 minutes of him snorting his own snot going, because, you know, that's an appropriate thing to do in your fucking rant.
Man, but still. So, yeah.
Look, it's an awkward pause.
What I'd like to talk about is more local as well. The state of Nebraska just passed this fairness ordinance, and it's not very fair at all. See, what they're saying is, along with race, sex, ethnic background, etc., they're defining transgender and homosexual people as a protected group in that vein. But what this means is the Christian church can't say, they can't not, they would have to hire a homosexual if that person was best qualified for the job. And they couldn't deny that person really anything. But here's the thing.
I want you all to take a breather for a minute. I just want you all to stop the video for a second, or maybe a few hours, and come back to it. Because what you're about to hear is quite possibly one of the most arrogant, self-centered, most Bible-thumping response I've ever heard in my life. With that being said, let's continue.
Here's the thing. While it is divine law not to discriminate against people,
which you have done multiple times,
divine law not to support people in their sinful activities, which includes homosexuality, and I'm not quite sure where the church stands on transgender identities, but I would think it'd be just as bad as homosexuality. Anyway, so this fairness ordinance is supposed to protect those people, but they do it by taking away rights from religious people, if you want to put it in legal terms. See, we're supposed to be men and women of faith. Religion and faith are two different things. And if you can't see that, I feel very sorry for you.
My beard weeps for yours, because it's attached to that face of yours.
It's not useless, and religion is everything else. So, yeah.
This is why I do not like religion. I hate it when people use religion as a way to exact their own means on this earth. I hate it when I see people saying, fags go home, or gays must die. Things like that make me angry, and it makes me very upset to see people that think this way. Just because they're different from you doesn't mean that they don't deserve anything. I find that very, very disrespectful, and overall it just shows a clear hatred of something that you don't understand. And that is why I heavily enjoyed this video, because now I get to show people just how much of a dick you really are.
That's putting it extremely simply. There's obviously a bit more detail to it. But, we have this petition going that says, okay, look, you just passed this without putting it to the people.
I wouldn't have given it to the people either, because judging by how you're reacting, this is not the way you should act. You should be very happy that the church is actually accepting gays into their ordinance. I think that's what it's called, I'm sorry. I just think that this kind of reasoning is just so backwards to me. I don't understand how people can undergo these kinds of thoughts. They're evil, they're sinful, for what? For accepting their own lifestyle? That is just so wrong.
Because apparently you assumed everybody would agree with it, and you were wrong. So the petition basically says, hey, we need to put this to the people and have a vote. It does not say you need to repeal this or we'll kill you. Okay?
I can't continue with this video. After seeing him smile after he said people would die, I know you might be thinking, well, that's a joke. Yeah, but he still smiled like a goddamn smug asshole. Like, you know we're gonna do it. You know that. So what I have to say about this video, other than, well, you're a goddamn asshole and you think yourself is higher than thou, get the pie out of your mouth, shave your beard, and look in the mirror and say, I am God. And then I want to see that beard jump back out of the goddamn trash can and slap you across the face. I'm that dude with the beard saying, I hate you.